We will now investigate one of the most important uses or functions of ion movements across the cell membrane. So we will be looking more closely at nerve signals or action potentials and the neuron. So the neuron or the nerve cell is actually a specialized type of cell which is very elongated in its shape. It has a cell body where the nucleus resides and dendrites that accept signals from other neurons. And then there is also a long structure called the axon, through which the action potential or the nerve signal passes through. And this axon is insulated by a fatty material known as myelin, which is produced by special cells called Schwann cells. So, how does the movement of ions help in the transmission of nerve signals or action potentials? So we see here in this illustration how the two sides of the plasma membrane of any cell, not just a nerve cell, would actually have sort of imbalance in the amount of positive charges that they have. So for example, the outer portion of outer side of the plasma membrane is actually more positively charged than the inner side of the plasma membrane, the one within the cytoplasm. Okay? So take note, we are not talking here about negative ions. We are simply talking about relative charges. Again, the charge on the outside of the cell membrane is relatively more positive than the charge on the inside of the cell membrane. So that's why we have a plus and a minus sign here. So when a voltmeter, for example, has its electrodes just placed on both on the outer sides of the cell membrane, as you can see here on the left, there is no visible sign of changes in voltage as shown on the graph above it. But once you insert one of the terminals of the voltmeter into the cell, meaning to say that particular probe is now touching the inner side of the cell membrane, as shown here on the red probe on the right. Notice how the signal of the voltage here, as shown in the graph on top, dramatically decreases when that electrode is poked through into the negative side of the cell membrane. So, meaning to say, there's really a difference. That's how scientists found out that there is a difference between the charges on the outside and on the inside, relatively. The outside is more positive, while the inside is more negative in charge. Notice also in the graph how the sodium equilibrium potential, okay, that's the equilibrium when the sodium ions have completely randomly dispersed throughout the outside and the inside of the cell, is really high at plus 60, around plus 60 millivolts, while the potassium equilibrium is really low. And that's also the equilibrium, meaning the potassium ions would have spread randomly throughout the cell and throughout the outside of the cell if that equilibrium is achieved. So here is an illustration really of what's happening on the cell membrane. So we are talking here again about channel proteins, okay? Particularly ion channels. We see here in the illustration on the left how the potassium leak channel found on the cell membrane of the neuron is always open. Okay? It's always open. Meaning to say, it always allows potassium ions to sort of diffuse onto the outside of the cell. All right? So, that's labeled here as time 1. Okay? Meaning to say, the nerve signal is not yet being made. But in time 2, notice in time 2, how the sodium ion, okay, we have a sodium gate, okay, opens, allowing the high concentration of sodium from the outside to go inside the cell, okay, thus causing the charge here, as you can see, to be more positive on the inside of the cell than on the outside of the cell, as opposed to what's happening here. Okay, this is time 2. And this is actually when depolarization happens. So this is the depolarization phase. Okay, in time 1, that's the resting potential, meaning to say no signal, no nerve signal is happening. Okay, so really the key event here is when the sodium gate opens and the sodium ions go in the cell, depolarization happens. Because the inner side of the cell membrane now becomes more positive than the outside of the cell. Now, this depolarization would actually continue on and on along the axon of the nerve cell. Okay? Until such a time that the stimulus which caused the nerve signal will stop, or when the nerve has actually become sort of desensitized by the signal. When that happens, the desensitization, okay, or when the stimulus will stop, repolarization will then occur. And that happens because the potassium gate will open and causing more potassium ions to go out of the cell, thus restoring the more positive charge outside of the cell membrane than on the inside of the cell membrane. Okay? So, if we try to illustrate this in a graph, okay, in time 1, because the potassium leak channel is always open, the potassium equilibrium potential is sort of always almost achieved. Okay? So this is where the graph will be in time 1. Okay. But notice in time 2, when the sodium gate opens and the sodium ions come out or go in the cell, okay, the charge within the cell, okay, lining the cell membrane becomes more positive as shown here, and thus the sodium equilibrium potential is sort of achieved because the sodium ions are sort of diffusing into the cell. And so if we continue the graph here, this is going to be going up. Okay, this is going to be going up. But then in time 3, because the potassium gates have also opened now, and the potassium ions go out of the cell, okay, we now have a sort of restored positive, more positive charge outside of the cell membrane than on the inside of the cell membrane. And because the potassium ions are now diffusing out of the cell again, more than the sodium ions are diffusing in, because the sodium gate has closed, this signal in our graph is going to go back now to the potassium equilibrium potential. So notice we are now going down. In fact, it goes down a bit more because more potassium ions will actually move out of the cell than needed for a bit of time before it goes back to normal. So we sort of now have this graph. Okay, so as shown here. So, you might need to reread and study this again in order for you to understand, but I assure you it's actually quite fascinating and enlightening when you understand how this graph works given how ion channels in the nerve cell also work. So we call this, guys, the action potential or the nerve signal. Now, the action potential, as I mentioned, moves along the axon from the cell body to the end of the axon where another nerve cell is waiting just across the synapse. So it moves, and this actually is an electrical signal, and it moves very fast. Okay, like less than a second, your toe will already be felt by your brain in less than a second. And these action potentials actually move faster than they are supposed to, because first, the axon is actually insulated by the myelin. Okay, the myelin sheath made by the Schwann cells. And this insulation, similar in how the insulation of our electrical wires work, actually helps in the increase of the speed of the electrical signal along the axon. Okay? What's more is that the insulation is actually sort of not throughout the axon, but there are gaps, as you can see here. And these gaps are known as the nodes of Ranvier. And when the action potential moves along the axon, they actually jump from one node of Ranvier to another node of Ranvier, so that their movement is sort of a jumping movement, okay, along the nerve cell. So for example, if the signal is from the cell body, they are going to move from node to node like this, thus achieving a faster transmission of the action potential. We call this saltatory, okay, movement, saltatory movement of the action potential. And when the action potential has reached the synaptic knob of the neuron, it's going to cause the exocytosis of neurotransmitters, in this case acetylcholine, okay? And the neurotransmitter is going to be released by the neuron into the synapse, where it sort of diffuses and it's going to be caught by acetylcholine receptor by the next nerve cell. And when it is detected by the next nerve cell, the sodium ion gates of that next nerve cell will again open, okay? And thus, the process of creating the action potential repeats itself. So the nerve impulse continues its movement into another nerve cell. And when this action potential reaches, say for example, muscle cells, it's going to cause the response by the twitching of the muscle cell. So movement is achieved because of this.